ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى أزواجه وذريته كما باركت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد، إن شاء الله we continue with Al-Wabil, as-Sayyib by Ibn al-Qayyim, and he started talking about the benefits of dhikr, and we reached the benefit number 34. Benefit number 34 of the benefits of al-dhikr, the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Benefit number 34, he says that continuous remembrance, or continuing to remember the Lord, dawamu dhikri Rabb tabaraka wa ta'ala, continuing to remember the Lord tabaraka wa ta'ala, it guarantees, or it leads to, it necessitates yujib, it necessitates being safe of forgetting Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Forgetting Him, which is the cause leading to the sadness of the servant in the next life and in this life. Forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leads to the sad end in this life and in the next life. For surely forgetting the Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala will necessitate forgetting himself. The one who forgets his Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will end up forgetting himself. Walayadhu billah. And what benefits himself, his interests and benefits, he will forget them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Surah Al-Hashr, ayah 19. Do not be from those who forgot Allah, and therefore Allah made them forget themselves. Such are the wicked. They forgot Allah, so Allah caused them to forget themselves. Now, if the servant forgets himself, he will turn away from the interests, from the benefits of his own self. He will forget it, and he will be busied away from it. He will be busied away from it, and therefore it will be destroyed, it will become corrupt, and there is no doubt about that. He said exactly like the one who has plants, he has a farm, he's doing farming, lahu zara', or he has a garden, bustan, or mashia, he has flocks of animals or sheep that he's looking after, or other than that. The one who has any of this and the goodness of these different things, their success lies in him looking after those things, the farm, the garden, the plants, or the animals. He has to look after them, and he has to maintain them. Al-Qiyam alayha. He has to maintain them. So this person, he neglected, he forgot, and he got busied away from these things that it's his duty to look after them. He got busied away from looking after them. And he completely wasted or lost those interests and benefits. So then that thing, whether it's a farm, whether it's a garden, sheep, they will be corrupt. Wala bud, he says, no running away from that. This has to happen. If you neglect those things that require maintenance, you don't maintain them, they will be corrupt. He said this, along with the possibility of other than him doing this maintenance. You know, sometimes you are busy, you put somebody else in charge. You ask him to look after your farm, you are traveling, please look after my apartment, my birds, right? Until I come back for 1 week or 2. So you can give this duty to somebody else to look after it, right? But then فَكَيْفَ الظَّنُّ بِفَسَادِ نَفْسِهِ وَهَلَكِهَا وَشَقَائِهَا إِذَا أَهْمَلَهَا. What do you think about what will happen, how corrupt his self will be, how destroyed and how sad it will be if he neglected it, if he forgot it, if he busied himself away from its interests, and he is not looking after it anymore, and he is not maintaining it in a way that it will make it continue, right? Now those other things, you can put somebody else in charge, but would you be able, in other words, would you be able to put somebody in charge of yourself if you forget it? Those other things, maybe you will ask someone to do on your behalf. But your own self, if you forget it, you cannot put somebody else in charge, right? So now you can imagine how corrupt. Those other things, they may end up destroyed. Although you can have somebody look after them for you. But for yourself, if you forget it, he's saying, you can imagine how much corrupt and how much destroyed it will end up being, right? So you will end up, ma shi'at, he says. Whatever you wish, expect whatever you wish of destruction, corruption, failure, hirman, being a loser, underprivileged. And this is the person whom his affairs became furutan. He is referring to the ayah that has passed maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. His affairs are at loss. His affairs that he should be looking after, they are lost. He is not looking after them. So then, right? كَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. So his affairs are completely lost for him, completely broken up, completely shattered for him. His affairs are shattered for him, and his benefits are lost, and causes leading to being cut off, causes leading to failure, causes leading to destruction are now surrounding him. All are surrounding him. Why? Because he forgot Allah. He ended up forgetting himself. And if he forgets himself, then he doesn't maintain it, he doesn't look after it. The end is complete destruction. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. He says there is no way to safety from this except by continuously remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, continuously having your tongue uttering the remembrance of Allah, al-lahj bihi subhanahu wa ta'ala, that your tongue continues to be moist with the remembrance of Allah, and to make dhikr, the remembrance of Allah, to give him the status and the position of your life, your own life, that you have no way, يعني لا غنى له عنها. You cannot be devoid, you cannot be free, or you cannot be not in need of your own life. So make dhikr, give him the status of the life that you have, the life that you have. He said, give the dhikr, you should give the dhikr the status and the position of the food, the nutrition, the nourishment, that if you miss, then your body will be corrupt and will be destroyed. You should give it the status of the water, he said. The water at a time when you are extremely thirsty. You should give it the status or the position of the clothing in the heat and in the cold. And you should give it the position and the status of what you protect yourself with in the time of extreme winter and in the extreme hot wind of as-Samum. Right? So dhikr, this is how it should be viewed. It should be viewed, it's so important. You're so much in need of it, like how much you need your life, how much you need your food, how much you need your drink, how much you need your shelter, in the times when you are in dire need of these. So he said that the servant of Allah should give a dhikr, right? Should give a dhikr this status and even greater than that. أعظم, and even greater than that. For you cannot compare أين هلاك الروح والقلب وفسادهما من هلاك البدن وفساده. He said, if you compare now the destruction of the soul and the heart compared to the destruction of the body and its corruption. And those other things, food and drink and shelter, and if they are corrupt, then the body gets corrupt. But a dhikr, if you lose it, then the soul and the heart becomes corrupt. And you cannot compare the two. The corruption that happens to the soul is far worse than the corruption that happens to the body. He said, هذا هلاك لا بد منه. The body, for the body to end and be destroyed, this is something that there is no running away from that. Yani everyone will end up dying. Your body will be ending up in the grave, right? And قد يعقبه صلاح الأبد. Maybe your body will end, your lifespan will finish, your body goes in the grave, but then after that, if you are a pious person, then you will be forever in good life, in the grave and after that. As for the soul and the heart being destroyed, then this is a destruction that no goodness, no reform is expected after that. No success is expected after that. And لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. There is no change and no power to do any change except through Allah al-Ali al-Azim, the high, the great, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said now, if there is no benefit for dhikr and continuously remembering Allah, if there is no benefit for it except this one benefit alone by itself, then it will be enough. Then it will be enough. For the one who forgets Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah Azza wa Jal makes him forget himself in this life, and He will forget him. He will forget him. He subhanahu wa ta'ala will forget him in the torment, in the punishment on the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِ, the one who turns away of my remembrance, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا, then he will have a life that is a very hard and tough life. وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى, and we will gather him on the day of resurrection, as a blind person. قَالَ رَبِّ لِمَا حَشَرْتَنِي أَعْمَى وَقَدْ كُنْتُ بَصِيرًا. He said, "Oh my Lord, why is it that you gathered me, resurrected me and gathered me as one who is blind, when I used to see before? I used to be able to see." قَالَ كَذَلِكَ أَتَتْكَ آيَاتُنَا فَنَسِيتَهَا. He says, Allah says to him, as such, like that, our signs, our verses have come to you and you forgot them. And likewise, today you will be forgotten. Likewise, today you will be forgotten. Meaning you will be forgotten in the punishment, in fil adhab. You will be forgotten in the torment. Like you have forgotten about our verses, you did not remember them, and you did not act upon what is contained in them, in our signs. Now, we discussed this issue before in the other book. Does Allah forget or He doesn't forget? You remember this issue. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all knowledgeable. He is Al-Hafiz subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has a lot of names. Allah knows what was, what will be, and what will not be. If it were to happen, how it will be. Right? And His knowledge is never forgotten or never lost, subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here, it is the forgetfulness, meaning that He will be ignored. This is the deliberate. That's why when you forget an information, you forgot it. Right? But you don't say, I will forget it. Right? You don't say, I will forget. I will forget this information. It just happens to you that you will forget it. Right? But this one here, it says, today you will be forgotten. This is a deliberate type of forgetfulness, which means that he will be ignored in the punishment. He will be forgotten in the punishment. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not mind him, will not pay any attention to him. He will be tormented in the punishment as a punishment. Al-jaza' min jins al-amal. The reward is of the same type of a deed that you do. The sin is forgetfulness. The punishment is forgetfulness. Right? The sin is forgetfulness. The punishment is forgetfulness. Now, he says that him turning away from remembering him, this includes him turning away from the remembrance that he sent down, and that is his book. Man a'rada an dhikri, the one who turns away from my remembrance. His remembrance subhanahu wa ta'ala, this includes first his book, which he sent down. And this is what is intended. And also it includes him turning away from remembering his Lord with his book and his names and attributes and his commandments and his favors and bounties. For all of these, they follow up. They follow up from forgetting the book of Allah. If you forget the remembrance that Allah sent down, then you will end up forgetting about the commandments and the prohibitions and so on, so forth. So the one who turns away from my book, he does not recite it, he does not reflect upon it, he does not act upon it, he does not understand it, then his life and his living will not be except narrowed down. He is always in a narrow place. And munakkada is always sorrowful. His life is full of sorrow. Mu'adhaban fiha. His life is full of torment. Wal-'iyadhu billah. Now ad-dank here, he says ad-diqu wa-shidda. It says, the ayah says, فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. He will have a life that is dank. Dank here, he says, is something that is narrow and something that is tough, hard and severe. Right? So it is like that. So here he described the living itself, his life, his living will be narrowed down and it will be severe and tough for him. This was explained also as the torment in Al-Barzakh. Right? So the one who turns away from my remembrance, then he will have a life of severity, hardship. They said this is in Al-Barzakh. Al-Barzakh is the time span after death and before resurrection. That's what is called Al-Barzakh. So some said that he will have a tough, hard life in the grave, that is, in the grave. But the Shaykh says, was sahih, but what is correct is that it includes both his life in this life and his life in Al-Barzakh, his torment in Al-Barzakh. As we said, the Barzakh is the time span after death and before resurrection. For he will be in dank. He will be living a hard, tough life in both lives. In this life, the worldly life, and also in the next life. The life of Al-Barzakh, which is after death and before resurrection. He says, and in the next life now, after the resurrection, there will be the reckoning, and then there will be paradise or the fire. He said, and fil akhirah, and after the resurrection now, yunsa fil adhab, he will be forgotten in the punishment. And this is the opposite of the people of happiness and success. For their lives in this worldly life is the best, the purest, atyab al-haya, the best of lives. And in the barzakh and also in the next life, they have the best of the reward. Now he will mention the ayat, 4 places in the Quran that talk about that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى, the one who does righteous deeds of male and or female, وهو مؤمن, while being a believer, فلنحيينه حياة طيبة, we will make him live a life that is a good life. Now this is in Surah An-Nahl 97. He said this is in this worldly life. فلنحيينه حياة طيبة, this is in this worldly life. Then he said وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, and we will reward them, we will give them their reward with the best of what they used to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them a pay, handsome reward, according to the best of what the best of the deeds that they used to do in this life. So here you have in Al-Barzakh, and you have in the next life. So in this life we will make him live a good life, and in the next life they will be rewarded according to the best of their deeds. In Al-Barzakh, after death, and also after resurrection. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا فِي اللَّهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا ظُلِمُوا, those who migrated in the way of Allah after they have been oppressed, لَنُبَوِّئَنَّهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا, we will give them in this life حسنة, good, and وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ, and the reward of the next life is greater if they know, if only they know. This is now in Surah An-Nahl 41. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَأَنِ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ, and that you should seek the forgiveness of your Lord. ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ, then repent to Him. يُمَتِّعْكُمْ مَتَاعًا حَسَنًا إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى وَيُؤْتِ كُلَّ ذِي فَضْلٍ فَضْلَهُ, He will make you enjoy a good enjoyment, a beautiful enjoyment, up to an appointed term, and He will give every person of virtue, every person of excellence, He will give him his excellence. Right? So this now in this life and in the next life. In the next life. Yani both here, He will give them a good enjoyment, a beautiful enjoyment in this life. That's the good life here. And then in the next life, He will He will give every excellent person, He will give him the excellence that he deserves. Right? طيب. This is in Surah Hud, ayah number 3. Now, also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ يَا عِبَادِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ, say, O my servants who believed, fear your Lord, be mindful of your Lord. اتَّقُوا رَبَّكُمْ لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً, those who have done good, they will have in this life, they will have good, حسنة. وَأَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةً, and the land of Allah is spacious. إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ, the patient ones, they will only be rewarded their reward without count. So again, in this life the reward, and in the next life. In this life they will have hasana, and in the next life they will have their reward without count. So the Shaykh, this is in Surah Az-Zumar, ayah number 10. The Shaykh says that these are four places in which Allah Ta'ala mentioned in them that He will reward the doer of good, al-muhsin, He will reward the doer of good with his goodness. He will reward him because of his goodness, two rewards, a reward in this life and a reward in the next life. So he said, al-ihsan, doing good deeds, it has an immediate, a swift reward. Wala bud, has to have that. It has an immediate reward. Doing good has an immediate reward. وَالْإِسَاءَةُ لَهَا جَزَاءٌ مُعَجَّلٌ, also doing evil has a swift, immediate reward for it. And labud, there is no running away from that. It has to have that. He said, if it were not just the comfort of the chest and this spacious and openness in the hearts, the happiness, the joy in dealing with their Lord, and the joy they have in obeying Him, remembering Him, the bliss that their souls are enjoying because of loving Him, if the doers of good have no reward except that, then that will be sufficient, that will be enough. The doers of good, they will get the immediate reward in this life. Part of that is them, as he said, their hearts are good, their hearts are pure, their chests are pure, they are happy, they are enjoying obeying their Lord, remembering Him and loving Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is like an immediate reward. If there was no reward except this, then that would be sufficient. He said that also what the evildoer would be rewarded with of ضيق الصدر. His chest will be narrow in the sense that he will be gloomy. He will be gloomy. And he has hardness of the heart, قسوة القلب. And تشتته, his heart is distributed over 101 different matters. He is completely split up. And ظلمته, his heart has darkness in it. And حزازاته, he has grudges and ill feelings. والعياذ بالله. And he has ham, worry, غم, grief, حزن, sadness, خوف, fear. And this is something that the one who has the least of the faculty of sensing, the least of senses, he would feel that, and he will have no doubt about it. He will not have any doubt about this. Rather, those sadnesses and grief, worries, gloominess, this distress that the people are in, depression that the people go through, all of these are عقوبات عاجلة, swift punishments. نار دنيوية. This is a fire like Jahannam, but it's an earthly type of fire, worldly fire. And Jahannam حاضرة. This is like an immediate Jahannam already here, before they enter it. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Those griefs and grief, sadness, worry, gloominess, depression, all of that is like an immediate Jahannam in this world already. It's a worldly fire that they are going through, right? He says, now turning to Allah Azza wa Jal, returning to Him, being pleased with Him and pleased by Him. You're satisfied with your Lord and you're satisfied with whatever He does to you, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the heart being filled of His love, and continuously the tongue mentioning Him, and being happy by knowing Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is here now ثواب عاجل. This is a swift, immediate reward. جنة حاضرة. This is a paradise that is already present in this world. عيش لا نسبة لعيش الملوك إليه البتة. He said this is a type of living that the living of the kings cannot be compared to it at all, period. Right? It cannot be compared to it. Those kings, their lives that they are living, the lives that they are living, it cannot be compared to the lives of those who are enjoying loving Allah and remembering Him and being pleased and satisfied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now he says, I heard Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah قدس الله روحه, he says, إن في الدنيا جنة truly in this worldly life there is a paradise. من لم يدخلها لا يدخل جنة الآخرة. The one who doesn't enter it, he will not enter the paradise of the next life. And then once he said to me, one time he said to me, قال لي مرة ما يصنع أعدائي بي? What would my enemies do to me or do with me? He said, speaking about himself, Shaykh al-Islam alayhi rahmatullah, my paradise and my garden is within my chest. Jannati wa bustani fi sadri. Wherever I go, then it is with me. It never departs away from me. Surely, jailing me is just a chance for seclusion. Habsi khulwa. When they jail me, imprison me, that's a time for me to be alone and reflect, right? It's not like really a punishment. It's just choosing to seclude myself, to be in seclusion with myself. قتلي شهادة. Killing me is martyrdom. إخراجي من بلدي سياحة. And expelling me from my land, from my country, is just tourism. It's just touring the world, right? He used to say, when in his jail in Al-Qal'a, the castle, this place still exists now. I don't know if it's destroyed or not after all of these things that are happening to the people of Syria. May Allah save them and punish and destroy their enemies and the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those who support them, whoever they are, wherever they are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroy them, and inshallah we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring immediate relief to the people of Syria. He used to say in his jail in Al-Qal'a, the castle, he said, if I offered what fills this castle of gold, right, this wouldn't be equal to thankfulness to this favor that happened to me. He was put in jail and he was enjoying his life in jail. So he said, if I offer what fills this castle of gold, I cannot thank this favor that happened to me. He said, I will not be able to reward them for what they caused of goodness to happen to me, or the likes of this. Because he got into this seclusion in his jail, he benefited so much that he said, if I pay them gold that will fill up the castle, I will not be able to thank them really for this goodness that they have caused me. He used to say in his prostration sujood while he was imprisoned in jail, he used to say, Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. He used to say, oh Allah, help me to remember you, to thank you, and to perfectly worship you. He used to say that, MashaAllah. He will be in the sujood saying, Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. Repeat and repeat and repeat. He said to me once, this is now Ibn al-Qayyim narrates from Ibn Taymiyyah. There was one brother, student of knowledge, who authored a book, just what Ibn al-Qayyim narrates from Ibn Taymiyyah. And he put those quotations, he put them there. Yeah? Anything that he heard from Ibn Taymiyyah, his sheikh. Right? So they put them in one cover. He said to me once, المحبوس من حبس قلبه عن ذكر الله تعالى. The one who's really imprisoned, the one who's really jailed, is the one whose heart is imprisoned from the remembrance of Allah. Is barred from remembering Allah. It's as if his heart is imprisoned, is in a jail, in a way that he cannot remember Allah. That's the one who is truly imprisoned. That's the one who is really in a jail cell. Right? He said, Al-Ma'suru man asarahu hawah. He said the one who is captivated, the captive, is the one whom his desires have captivated him. The one whom his desires have captivated him. When he was entered into the prison called Al-Qal'a, the castle, and he was now inside of the fence inside of the jail. He looked at it and he said, he looked at the fence and he said, فَضُرِبَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِسُورٍ لَهُ بَابٍ. There was a setup between them. They would set up a fence that has a door. باطنه فيه الرحمة. The inward of it is mercy. وظاهره من قبله العذاب. The outward of it, from that side, is the punishment. Right? The punishment. This is in Surah Al-Hadid, ayah 13. He's just using the quotation, although it's in a different, it's being used for the hypocrites, that they are in a place, they will be put like this. They will think it's, the hypocrites, they used to deceive the believers in this life. So again, the reward is of the same type as the deed they have done. They are trying to deceive Allah, and He is going to do that to them. He will treat them in the same way. Right? So this is the thing. It appears to them that there is mercy, but then in reality it's punishment. So he used this ayah, but in a different way. Right? He was put in the jail now, in the prison. So he's saying, like, you think like this side of the jail is punishment and torment, but it's for him, it's mercy now. Right? For him, it's mercy, not punishment, because he was enjoying the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, this is now Ibn al-Qayyim saying, Allah knows, I have not seen anyone in a better living than him at all. Although, yet with all the ضيق العيش, this tough life that he had, and the opposite to الرفاهية والنعيم, the opposite of a lavish living and blissful living, enjoyment type of a living. He was living in an opposite way, not like that. ضدها He's living the opposite. And along with what he was in of al-habs, imprisonment, al-tahdid, threatening, al-irhaq, tiredness, all that was happening to him, yet he is from the best of the people in terms of living. His chest was the most in terms of comfort, and he had a very strong heart. أقواهم قلبا. And أسرهم نفسا. He had a soul that is most happy, or the happiest soul. And نظرة النعيم تلوح على وجهه. The beauty of bliss, you see it, or enjoyment, you see it clearly on his face. Rahimahullah. He said, still Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, we used to, when we are severely afraid, اشتد بنا الخوف, and ساءت منا الظنون, we have very bad thoughts, extremely bad thoughts. ضاقت بنا الأرض, when we feel that the land, the earth has become narrowed down for us, right? Became smaller and smaller for us. Then we come to him. We come to Shaykh al-Islam, that is. He said, so it is but that we see him and we hear his speech, so all of that will go away and will be replaced, or will turn into inshirah, openness in the chest, comfort in the chest, strength, quwwah, yaqeen, certainty, and tuma'nina, being having serenity or peace of mind. He said, now, Subhana man ashhada ibadah jannatahu qabla liqa'ih. He says, glory be to the one who made his servants witness his paradise before they meet him. Glory be to the one who made his servants witness his paradise before they meet him. And فتح لهم أبوابها في دار العمل. And he opened up for them its doors, the doors of paradise, in this dar, in this house of labor. Yani the worldly life is a house of labor. The next life is the house of reward. Right? Here there is labor, and there is the reward for the labor of this life. So he said he opened up for them the doors of paradise in this house of work, house of labor, this worldly life. So there has come to them from its relief and from its breeze and its goodness, there has come to them of that which has made them spend all their strength and all their efforts to seek it and to compete to achieving it. Right? So here he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made his servants witness the enjoyment of paradise. He opened up doors for them that they feel the spirit, they feel the relief, they feel the enjoyment in this life. This made them spend all of their efforts and made them compete so that they will enter the paradise of the next life. He said that some of the arifin, some of those who know Allah, they used to say, if the kings and the children of the kings know what they are in, what we are in, they know what we are in, if they know what we are in, then they will fight us over it with the swords. And if they know how much enjoyment and happiness they are going through, then they will try to take it away from them, for themselves. The kings and the children of the kings. Another one, he said, Masakin Ahlul Dunya. The people of paradise, and the people of this worldly life, they are poor people. Miskin. They are poor people. They exited from it and they did not enjoy the best that is in it. They said, and what is the best that is of this worldly life? He said, loving Allah Ta'ala, knowing Him, and remembering Him, or the likes of that. Another one said, surely there passes by the heart times, there passes by the heart times that in which the heart will dance out of enjoyment, right? And he's speaking about himself. He said times pass by him in which his heart is so much enjoying as if he's like dancing. And another one said, surely sometimes pass by me, I would say in them, if the people of paradise are in the likes of this, they are truly living a good life. إن كان أهل الجنة في مثل هذا إنهم لفي عيش طيب. So there passes by him, sometimes he feels so much enjoyed that he says, if the people of paradise are living like this, then they are really living a good life. So loving Allah Ta'ala and knowing Him, continuously remembering Him, being at peace and comfort with Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, singling Him out with love, fear, hope, reliance, and dealing in a way that He Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, He will be taking over all of the azamat, all of the intentions and the aspirations, all of the concerns, the humum, and all of the iradat, the will, yani the will that the person has. Allah is taking over all of those, right? Then this is Jannatul Dunya wal Na'im alladhi la yushbihu an-Na'im. That the fact that this person is completely busy with Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah has taken over all of his intents and interests and aspirations. Whatever he wants and wills, all of that is in the hands of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. This is the paradise of this life. This is the bliss, the enjoyment that there is no enjoyment that resembles it. And this is the comfort of the eyes for the lovers of Allah. This is the life of those who know Allah. And the people will be pleased with him according to how much they are pleased with Allah Azza wa Jal. So the one whose eye has been comfortable, the one who is comfortable with Allah, then everyone who sees him will be comfortable with him. And the one who is not comfortable with Allah, he uses the word coolness of the eye. His eye is cool, his eye is comfortable, meaning the one who is at peace with, the one who is comfortable with Allah Azza wa Jal. So the one who is comfortable with Allah, the people will be comfortable with him. And the one who is not comfortable with Allah, then his soul تقطعت نفسه على الدنيا حسرات. His soul will be completely pitiful, right? And it will be cut off and split up over this life. And he will have so much pity in this life because he is not comfortable, he is not pleased with Allah Azza wa Jal. Now he says that these matters that he mentioned here, those who will believe in those matters are only those who have life in their hearts. These issues, that he mentions, that being pleased with Allah and satisfied with Him, Allah taking over all of your concerns and your worries and all of that. You are busy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is your goal, right, in your life. Then the reward of that is enjoyment in this life and in the next life. So he says that those things, only those who believe in these matters, the ones who believe in these matters, are only those who have life in their hearts. As for the one who has a dead heart, ميت القلب, then يوحشك. The one who has a dead heart, he will make you feel estranged. He will make you feeling a sense of alienation. You will feel you're not comfortable with him. And those people with dead hearts, they don't sense this, right? He said, فَاسْتَأْنِسْ بِغَيْبَتِهِ. Bring comfort to yourself by his absence. And alhamdulillah, they're not around you, those dead hearts, people with dead hearts, they're not around you. Then enjoy your time, enjoy your time since they are absent, from your presence. استأنس بغيبته. As much as you are able to. As long as they are far away from you, then enjoy, be comfortable. He said, فإنه لا يوحشك إلا حضوره. Nothing will bring you this feeling and sense of strangeness and alienation, right? Except him being present with you. But he says, إذا ابتليت به. If you are tried and tested with him, this person with a dead heart is a neighbor, is a close friend, is a relative. What can you do? Right? Allah is testing you. He has to be around you somehow. But these words that Imam Al-Qayyim mentioned, they don't click, He's like, what are you talking about? It's philosophy for him. It doesn't make any sense to him. So this type of a person, if he's not around you, make sure to benefit from that time. Because nothing will cause you this discomfort except him being present around you, right? He said, now what happens if you are tested and tried by him being around you? He said, أعطيه ظاهرك. Give him your outward self, right? Give him your body, from the outside, but your inside should be, busy with Allah Azza wa Jal. ترحل عنه بقلبك. Travel away from him with your heart. فارقه بسرك. Depart away from him with your inner soul. ولا تشتغل به عما هو أولى بك. Do not busy yourself with him over things that are more deserving for you to do. Right? He said, you should know that al-hasra kull al-hasra. You should know that the pity, all the pity is to busy yourself with, to be busy with the one who busying yourself with him does not bring you except losing your share from Allah Azza wa Jal. This is the pity, all the pity, the regret, all the regret lies in you being busy with someone whom you being busy with him will only make you lose your share from Allah Azza wa Jal, and that you will be cut off from Allah Azza wa Jal, and that your time will be wasted for you, and your heart will be split up, and your willpower will be weak or weakened because you are busy with this person. And تفرق همك, your focus and concentration also will be split up because of being busy with that person. Now, being busy with him who will make you lose your share from Allah Azza wa Jal. So that is, he called it the pity, all the pity. Al-hasra kull al-hasra. Right? He said, so if you are tested with this, وَلَا بُدَّ لَكَ مِنْهُ, you cannot run away from that. If you are tested and if you are tried with a person who is of this type, and you have no running away from that, you cannot run away from it. There are those people around you. Then عامل الله تعالى فيه. Deal with him for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and واكتسب عليه ما أمكنك. Deal with him in a manner that will please Allah Azza wa Jal, and earn يعني good deeds by dealing with him as much as you are able to. تقرب إلى الله تعالى بمرضاته فيه. Seek nearness to Allah Azza wa Jal by pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal regarding this person, and make you gathering together with him, اجعل اجتماعك به متجرا لك لا تجعله خسارة. Make your gathering with him, the fact that you meet with him, make it a source for benefit. A matjar, like a shop or a store. The fact that you are with him is like now a store for earning things for al-akhirah, earning good deeds for al-akhirah. Right? He said, do not make it a source of loss. Right? لا تجعله خسارة. Do not make you lose by being around him. Be with him like a man who is walking on his way, and then there is a man who met him and he made him stop from his walk. So you should strive hard to take him along with you and to make him walk with you. You carry him. Do not let him carry you. Right? You carry him. تحمله ولا يحملك. You carry him. Do not let him carry you. فإن أبى, if he refused, ولم يكن في سيره مطمع, and there is no hope at all that he will walk along with you, right, in the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then فلا تقف معه. Do not stand with him. بل اركب الدرب ودعه. Rather, you should go on your way and leave him behind. And do not even turn back to him. لا تلتفت إليه. Do not turn back to look at him. فإنه قاطع الطريق. For he is cutting off the road for you. He's like the robbers, who cut off the road and strip people of their belongings. He said, ولو كان أي من كان, regardless whoever he may be, whoever he may be, do not let him pull you back or stop you from your way. فانجو بقلبك. Save yourself and save your heart along with you. And be greedy with your day. Be greedy with your day, the time, right? Don't lose it. And be greedy with your night too. Let not the sun set before you reach your destination. قبل وصول المنزلة. So in a way that you will be تؤخذ, يعني the robbers will cut off the road on you. They will take you as hostage. Or the dawn will come out on you while you are still in the way. So the company, they will leave you and you will be left alone by yourself. And how would you then catch up with them? How would you then catch up with them? If they far outrace you and you are behind, you're going to be walking alone, right? And you will be, it will be very difficult for you to catch up with them. So this is an advice, because all of us, we have brothers, we have sisters, we have neighbors, we have colleagues, co-workers, husbands and wives, right? Those, the husband, if he is on the right path and the wife is lagging behind, or the opposite, if the wife is trying to do her best and the man is, in a deep sleep, right? Each one, they should try to help the other one, push, give them a push, so that they will, accompany you on the way, right? Not like pull you back. And you should do your best in doing this. Do your best. Otherwise, if there isn't a way, they don't want to walk, right, with you, then you should do your best. It depends on the situation. Either you will basically give them your outward and you keep your inner soul for whatever it needs to be in, right? Or you do your best not to let them cut you off, right? Not let them cut you off. Still continue on the road, and they have to do their best to catch up with you or something. Do not lose and be from the losers because someone is pulling you back or stopping you from your walk on the path, right? So back again, this benefit number 34 is that the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal is a means of safety. Safety from being forgotten. Because if you forget Allah, Allah will make you forget yourself. And if you forget yourself, then all causes leading to failure, all causes leading to being unsuccessful will be surrounding you. Because if you forget yourself, then you will forget doing things that will benefit you, things of interest for yourself. You will forget them, and you will be busy with other things that may actually will cause you destruction, right? So then, continuous remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal, it will lead to and it will necessitate that you will be safe from forgetting Allah Azza wa Jal, and forgetting Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the cause leading to wretchedness and sadness in this life and in the next life. So inshallah we will stop here. So we will next time do the benefit number